Welcome to the Private Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, here to help you unlock the mind, business, and spirit of your private practice success. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to grow, this is the place for you if you really want to create a thriving private practice. Before we dive in, I want to share something that can really make a difference in your business. Imagine having an expert in your pocket, someone available on demand whenever you need guidance. Well, that's exactly what my new program, Practice Momentum, offers. With over 30 years of experience at your fingertips, you can now get the support you need whenever you need it. Curious? Head over to brooklynstorme.com to learn more. And now let's get into today. And welcome back to another episode of the Private Practice Podcast. I always want to say Private Practice with Soul Podcast because I don't know why, I'm just so used to it because that's what it used to be called, right? Okay, we're going to dive in pretty quickly. If you can hear some scuffling, it's because you know who. I'm not going to say the name, but I'll spell it out. Buddy is being a little bit energetic. He keeps seeing his reflection in my television in the study and he spooks himself and then he barks at himself. So anyway, I'm still waiting for him to settle down. It's been an hour, but I know that I'm 2 days behind with getting this podcast done. So I want to make sure that I get it to you. Okay, so we're going to talk today about 6 ways that really good counselors and therapists in private practice are leaving money on the table. All right. And so by that, what I mean is you're not getting compensated or remunerated for the things that you're doing. As a result of that, what's happening is you're feeling pressured to find more clients, to get more bookings, all those kinds of things, to post on your social media. And yeah, it feels like a hustle mentality. And I want to show you that it doesn't have to be like that. Okay. So some of the things that I hear about, because apart from being a private practice coach, one of my other things that I do is money coaching, as you know, or maybe you don't. Welcome. Yes, I do money coaching as well, qualified and certified in that. So the first thing that I want to speak into of the 6 is undercharging for services. Now, I get it. Like, this really happens so often. There are so many beautiful, beautiful therapists, especially those just starting in private practice, but also those who are more seasoned, who set their rates too low compared to things like market value, recommended fees, and level of expertise, right? And the data shows that you need to be charging the right fee for your practice. But unfortunately, what gets in the way when it comes to setting the right fee are things like imposter syndrome, or maybe even comparing yourself to another practice, or thinking that you're not qualified enough, or you're not experienced enough, or that I don't know, that a really good way to fill your books is to undercharge and offer discounts and sliding scales and, concession rates and all this kind of thing, right? And one of the strategies that women in private practice share with me is that they often choose their fee based on what others are charging. And I think that's probably like one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because you just don't know what the business model is of those other practices and how they landed on those fees. So don't do it. But undercharging for services is certainly one way that you're leaving money on the table. Okay. The next way is around really poor billing practices, right? Which I know it's hard. We've got to see the clients and work with the clients, but at the same time, we're also trying to manage the money. So things get delayed. We put them off. We leave them till the last minute or until we're really desperate. And it causes big problems, right? Makes the money harder to get. Things like inconsistent invoicing. Now, with that, I mean, sometimes maybe you say, I'm going to send the invoice before the appointment, but you don't, or you are going to send it after, but you don't, or maybe you don't chase up payments and things like that, not collecting payments, really a big one, because we don't want to upset the person. We know that they're under stress. Is it okay? We have questions about ethics. What do we do? All those kinds of things. Having really unclear cancellation policies can also absolutely lead to revenue leakage, believe you me. And not only having unclear policies around the money in the business, but not, I was going to say enforcing, but that sounds too strong. Not using them, not leaning into them. It's also really problematic. The next one there, number 3, is having inefficiency with the scheduling, right? So having really, if you've got a diary and it's all kind of higgledy-piggledy, that is not good news in terms of revenue building, nor is it good news for you in terms of your own energy and your own mindset and things like that. Empty slots in the diary translate to lost income. But when you use a dynamic diary process, those empty slots get filled up, okay? And that increases your earning potential. This is all stuff that we go through in Momentum. And in fact, it's by using some of these strategies that I'm sharing with you in this episode that one of them, now she's just left me a voice message, so I can't play it now. But one of them has, just this week, she had 3 new inquiries. One of those inquiries was for supervision, which is probably going to be ongoing. And the other 2 converted. And she's also, on top of that, added an extra, using one of our other strategies, she's also added like an extra, what is it? I'm just trying to do the mental maths. I think it must be about 10 appointments to the diary over the next little while, over the next few weeks. So yeah, you can absolutely do it. And she's not the only one, right? But you need to understand what efficient scheduling looks like and then be able to implement it, and then you're good to go, right? The other thing that therapists are doing at the moment where they're leaving money on the table is they are limiting their offers, right? So an offer is anything that requires some kind of exchange. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Bless me. So it could be a money exchange, or it could be if you've got a freebie on your website, for example, that you're giving away. It's free in terms of money, but there's a charge or a cost in terms of getting the person's email. But either way, they're both considered offers. So when you've got limited service offerings, this can be problematic and you can end up leaving money on the table. The other thing that can be problematic is a lot of the time, and I'm guilty of this too, when I first started in private practice, because I just didn't know any different, right? But that was a long time ago. It's all changed now, thankfully. But relying solely on one-to-one sessions to bring in the revenue, that is another way that you're leaving money on the table. Certainly, doing things that will bring in like little bursts of revenue to the business, and you can do them monthly, bi-monthly, stuff like that. Or even better yet, things that will bring in recurring revenue. Whether it's passive or active income doesn't really matter, but we want to have a few different ways there. But if your business is making its money only from doing the one-to-one work, then yeah, you're absolutely leaving money on the table. Another way that you might be leaving money on the table is by underutilizing the technology that you have available to you, okay? And underutilizing meaning understand fully what your practice management software offers you, understand fully what it does, what it doesn't do, and use all of the features where you can. It just is going to save you so much time and money and things like that. But certainly not investing in practice management software or a telehealth platform, or even systems that can support your practice in terms of creating automations for you. In turn creates inefficiencies that really do limit the number of clients that can be seen, and it also increases the admin burden on you as well, and we don't want that. It would be great if wherever possible, the business was automated, because that would allow you to just do what is on your heart to do and sit with the clients and do that direct client work in a one-to-one capacity. And then the last way that there are good therapists leaving money on the table in private practice is that just so many of them, like gifted people with beautiful, beautiful souls and great talent, they're relying solely on, I don't know, it's like social media or Psychology Today to bring them work, and they wonder why it's not working. And as a result of that, they're not really developing a targeted marketing approach. And the problem with that is that they're just not getting found by the right people. So understanding how to market the practice is so important. It doesn't mean that you have to do more things, but it just means that with the limited time, the limited energy, the limited money you've got, you can make the most of it and leverage it so that you can continue to get more bang for your buck and start to get more of the right people coming through to the private practice. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, we kind of tick the boxes, don't we? We say, oh, I need a website. And if you're a therapist in mental health, you probably say, oh, and I need Psychology Today, and, and I should be posting. And so you put all of these pressures on yourself to show up in all of these places, and you anticipate you're going to get a client, but without having the understanding of the right approach for you and for your clients, it's largely hit and miss. And then it feeds into, like, the lack of results can then feed into things like the imposter syndrome. And we really want to try and avoid that wherever we can. And the quickest solution with that is to, create that marketing plan and the right marketing strategy that's going to work for you. So these are all things that, as I said, we do them inside Practice Momentum. And even though it's still early days, like some of them are now beginning to approach their first 90 days, as some of them are at the 90 days, and I think one or two might be just past their 90-day period. I can already share with you that some of the women in there have dropped back from their paid part-time work and they've increased their days in their private practice. Others have added so much money into the business, it's like not even funny. Like one of them, she's added an extra, I wrote it down here for you because I had to do maths and it was too much for my brain at this hour of the day. But yeah, she's added an extra 33,600 to her revenue for this financial year as a result of some of the strategies that we've been able to put in place. And remember, this financial year ends at the 30th of June. Imagine if you could do that for your business too. You absolutely can. There's no reason why you can't. But I also feel like we probably need to have point number 7. Another way that really good practitioners are leaving money on the table in their private practice is because they get in their own way about it. They get in their own head about it. They, I guess, now this is going to not sound great. I understand, like I'm probably going to get the wording of this wrong. But what I want to say is when you're saying that you want to be affordable and you want to make sure that everybody can work with you and stuff like that. And so you deliberately undercharge. And I feel like that's you avoiding rejection. I'm just going to say it. I feel like that's you avoiding rejection. I feel like that's you saying, well, if I charge the recommended fee of $150 or $160, if I charge that and nobody comes, then that's going to hurt. That's going to sting. So I don't want that. I actually want people to come. So I'm just going to charge less. And I'm going to justify it on my website and in my marketing by saying I'm here to be affordable. And you know what? As I've mentioned to you before, like what's affordable is none of your business because you don't know what affordable is from person to person to person because, affordability is subjective. So it doesn't make any business sense at all for you to be basing your pricing on the mindset of being affordable. And as I said, I'm calling you out if that's what you're doing and you're saying that it's because you want to be affordable, because I know there might, sure, that might absolutely be part of you that wants to be affordable, but I think the bigger reason is you're nervous that people aren't going to pay the money. And I'm here to tell you that people do pay the money. They pay it every single day. I'd be out of a job if they didn't. And so would thousands of other women in private practice who are charging that base rate. I'm going to call it from now on. It's a base rate. They're charging that and more. I've got counselors, like my fee for a counseling session is $397, right? $400. And it's a 45-minute counseling session. There are other people that charge $220, $250, $280, $330, and they're fully booked. So I think sometimes when we start to think about money, especially as women, I don't know why. Probably like people talk about old patterns and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I am just thinking about me, and I obviously have a money story. You've heard it 1,000,001 times, so I'm not going to say it again. But I did pick up things about money, but I would like to think that now it's 2025, hopefully people who are now just starting to enter private practice didn't have those experiences that perhaps, maybe other Gen Xers had around money and money stories and things like that. I hope that there's empowerment now for women around money, and that's something that's really, really important to me. I want to make sure that you know how to support yourself and that you feel competent with managing your money. And so again, it's why one of the things that I place a lot of priority on in the first 90 days when the women join the program is we need to get this sorted out. You need to know your numbers. I'm going to help you know your numbers. I'm going to show you what numbers you need to know. I'm going to show you what they mean. I'm going to show you how to interpret them, and I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you what it all means, because otherwise how can they be empowered? You can't just run a business based on emotion. And I think for many of us in private practice, without having that understanding of business behind us, it's largely left to emotion. It's like, what fee feels right? Oh, I don't know about that fee. Doesn't feel good for me. Or I feel greedy. I feel like I don't want to take the money from people. I feel like this, that, and the other. It becomes very emotional. And while there's absolutely a place for emotion in business, I believe 110%, when it comes to finances, that's not it. Okay. I think use emotion in therapy. Use emotion maybe if you have to write a certain type of report or a certain type of letter, or you're doing your marketing and things like that. Absolutely. But when it comes to money, no. When it comes to money, we need cold, hard facts, and you have to be able to put the business head on. So there are 7 ways that really, 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 really good women in private practice are simply leaving money on the table. And now, like you heard them, you may have identified with 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe all of them. And so now that you have that awareness, you know what to do and you can change it. And if you need help changing it, of course, let me know. More than happy to support you. In other news, for those who may be interested, the doors to the Diploma Counsellor Society opened, and you are most welcome to come in. Now, if you were on the wait list, you have received an email with a special VIP pricing. You can take advantage of that. You've got 72 hours to join, though there's not 72 hours left. I don't know. I would have to check the actual page, and I don't have it up in front of me right now, but that's definitely an option. Also, if you're wanting to join Momentum, somebody asked me this good question, which I haven't addressed before, but I will speak into it now. She said, can she use her tax return for it? And the answer is yes, you can use your tax return for it. So the doors for it open July 15, so after you've done your tax. And yes, you can absolutely use any tax returns and stuff like that. It is a business deduction as well, and yes, it can count towards your CPD. If you would like more information or you want to go and jump on the waiting list, you absolutely can. Of course, I'll pop the link below, but the link is also on my website, which is just my name, like brooklynstorme.com, so you can go and check it out there. I also have some other very exciting news for you, but I will do a different episode because it deserves its own. I'll do it for you tomorrow morning. So that's Saturday, the 10th of May. I'll do it for you. It is something that you're really going to want to listen to because it is leading edge. It is brand new. It is really needed. It's addressing a huge gap, and it's something that you can be part of if you want to. Anyway, I know, leaving you on a hook like that. But yeah, as I said, thank you so much for being in my world. If you ever need anything, please reach out. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorme.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.